Hello there guys, Elite Legionario here, and today I'll be bringing you the 7th historical battle walkthrough for Rome Total War. This is the Battle of Carrhae. This will be our first sort of eastern faction mix in there with Parthia versus Rome here. And this one's a wee bit different, and this is definitely the hardest battle so far. But again, if you follow a certain aspect or a certain way of going about it, it's not too difficult, but it is the hardest battle so far and the most demanding, and probably the one that most people will find difficult to learn the pattern for, because it's pretty hard. There's only really one way to actually win this battle, so I'll let you watch the intro and then we'll get into it.
Carrhae, 55 BC. The army of Marcus Licinius Crassus marches deep into Parthia. Crassus is in the east, looking for glory and riches. He needs both in the struggle for ultimate power back in Rome. For weeks he has marched after the Parthian army. They are drawing him deep into their own lands. Now the Romans think that the Parthians won't fight, and the Roman cavalry are too far ahead of the main column. They've ridden straight into a Parthian trap. Heavy cataphracts close in. Easily massacre the outnumbered Roman cavalry. Now the Parthian horse archers are free to harass the Roman infantry. Crassus orders his legions to form the testudo as protection against arrow fire. This leaves them vulnerable in hand-to-hand combat. And the cataphracts are on their way. Only the few remaining Roman cavalry will have any chance of routing the Parthian horse archers.
Alright guys, hope you've enjoyed that. Now, this battle can be very hard if you don't do it basically the way I'm going to tell you how to do it now. I've played Rome Total War for a good 3 years, and this is the only way to actually do the Battle of Carrhae that I have ever been able to work out in all the time playing it. The way I'm going to show you this right now, it is a very difficult battle, if not impossible battle, if you don't do it this way. What you want to do immediately, I'll unpause it here, is get your men out of testudo and get up to run up to this hill that's behind you. You've got a hill camp in this game. It's the only way to do it on this battle, because you are going to get destroyed by those cataphracts if you stay down there, because they're like massively upgraded. As you can see, they're completely fully upgraded. Early legionary cohorts are absolutely outclassed, and your horse archers are going to wither you down the whole way. Now, unfortunately, as you run up the hill, you're going to lose men to your infantry, as you can see there. It's unfortunate, but it's unavoidable. You just have to do this. Run up the hill and get your ass up there as fast as possible. There's actually 4 cataphracts, so it's armoured general over there actually. Get your cab and your infantry up to this hill. Don't hang around. The cataphracts are quite slow, fortunately, and running all this distance will tire them too. It will tire your troops, but you'll be on the hill anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now, usually as a general here, you have an opportunity to kill it. So kill that cataphract general as fast as you can, because if you can do that, that's killing one of the generals. It'll reduce morale to the Parthian army. I believe there's 2 Parthian generals in the Battle of Carrhae. Don't have your peeler on, or at least not all of them, because you need to use that for the cataphracts. I actually left a couple of units on by mistake there, but fortunately I was able to turn them off, because the AI is really stupid. Because what the AI does is the AI always kind of walks up the hill half the time, and you can just turn your peeler on and destroy the cataphracts like I am here. And there's one of the generals dead, and that'll reduce the whole morale. And the cataphracts will be more tired from running this distance than your cavalry, because they're heavier, so therefore they tire more, and they're fighting uphill and taking peeler. And you can easily destroy the cataphracts this way, but if you fight them down the open plain, they will kill you every time, because it's just a terrible place to fight, and the horse archers will shoot you from behind and you'll lose numbers over and over and over. So try and stay on the hill. I mean, I don't like hill camping at all, but honestly, this is the only way to do the Battle of Carrhae. It is just too difficult without it. It's really that simple. It's just a far too difficult battle to do without camping, because the cataphracts are so heavily upgraded, and there's 4 of them and an armoured general, and they can destroy your earlier cohorts so easy, and you've got nowhere near enough cav to assist, and then the horse archers shoot your flanks anyway, and it's a complete disaster. So the only way to do this fight is to get up onto the hill, and you should try and get those peeler into the cataphracts and just play defence. Go to Testudo once the cataphracts are destroyed, and basically you want to just absolutely wear out all the ammunition on the horse archers until they can't tire, and usually they can't shoot. Usually they end up tiring themselves out, and then you can use your cavalry to run them off. That's what you want to do. So regroup up here on the hill. Make sure your cavalry doesn't get too weak or too destroyed, because you're going to need them for later on. So get back up onto the hill. Don't come off the hill for any length of time, because as you can see, I've destroyed the cataphracts, at least except for that one, and the only thing left is horse archers, and the AI will still shoot you if you go to Testudo. So use the Testudo formation and let the AI waste its ammunition on you. Be prepared though, the AI sometimes does like to rush you when you're in Testudo, and that can be a nuisance. So once you've got the cataphracts, get everything back up onto the hill and form her up like I'm doing so here. And once it's all formed up, go into Testudo formation. We'll pull some units off to the side here, because these ones will shoot you off the side otherwise. Have your cav close to support, just in case they charge your cav, which is can be very much a nuisance if they do that. Just having them regroup there. You don't absolutely have to go Testudo, it just depends on how many shots they're getting. Sometimes if it looks like the AI is going to do a rush, now I didn't go Testudo right away because there's an actual general's unit right there, and that's actually a melee cav, and they can do damage to your Testudo. So I recommend not using Testudo. It's easy to see they've charged me here, but you like what I mean is I recommend you not using it right away. If the AI does it, doesn't always do this. Sometimes it will skirmish with you. If it skirmishes with you, use the Testudo. If it does not, if it charges you like it is here, then have your cav and infantry ready to fight it off. Other than that, you will just normally go to Testudo and let the AI waste its time. This Eastern General's unit's quite strong, but once you destroy it, it's only because it's so heavily upgraded, but once you destroy it, it will lose pretty bad. Once you destroy it, get enough men into it, it'll lose pretty bad, that's what I mean to say. And at this point, just regroup yourself, and you probably want to be going to Testudo at this point, because there's no melee type cavalry left to fight you. So the Testudo is good here at this point. I usually don't find that much use of Testudo, honestly, in Rome Total War, especially on multiplayer, but it is kind of handy in sieges and these kind of battles. Because the AI still has this annoying habit of getting a few stray shots on your flanks and things like that, so going to Testudo works. And if they do charge you in Testudo, they're only horse archers, so they're not going to do too much damage to you, and your cav is still in sufficient numbers to hold that off. And basically you just let the AI wear itself out doing missile fire onto Testudo, and you should be alright. Try not to get any guys into your flank. Sometimes they will get the occasional shot on your flank, but it's not too drastic, and I wouldn't be too bothered about it if I were you, because the AI is just not going to have enough ammunition left at this point, or enough horse archers to actually get rid of this much Roman infantry. As much as I don't like the idea of camping in any situation, this is the only way to do Carrhae. I've never ever been able to do Carrhae if I stay down on the ground. those cataphracts just absolutely destroy you so easy. And if you go out of T-pseudo formation down the ground, the horse archers just get behind you and start shooting at your flanks and make it even easier for the cataphracts. So seriously, this is the only way I've ever been able to find a conceivable way of actually doing this battle. So I highly recommend just simply coming up here. It is the only logical way to do this battle. The AI, you can exploit it this way. And there's just certain things in certain historical battles you've got to do this sort of stuff. It is by far the hardest historical battle I've put up yet. It's not the hardest historical battle, but it's definitely one of the hardest because it's only got one real reliable method of actually being able to win it. So at this point, just go to triple speed. If you guys want to skip ahead, that's fine. All it is the AI just sort of plugging some shots away, and I'm just trying to chew them up out of ammunition. Unfortunately, because the AI is stupid, you have to chase it around quite a bit, which does make Carrhae a bit of an annoying fight as well. But you're probably going to expect that fight in Parthia, and because the AI doesn't know when it's beaten, it doesn't admit defeat, so therefore you kind of have to chase it around, which is rather irritating if I'm honest. So yes, I'm not really sure what else to say at this point. Just follow the steps. Just be careful you don't have your peeler on too prematurely there at the start, because you don't want to waste them on some crummy unit. You want to try and use them on the cataphracts, and if they are on, try to turn them off and make sure you put them onto those cataphracts. Now if the AI is out of ammunition, as they are here, they're out of ammunition now, and this one has still got a little ammunition, so you can come out of Testudo at this point and prepare for a fight. But the AI will still do a whole lot of skirmishing and retreating, so you're going to chase it around a bit, so which is a bit annoying if I'm honest. I find it annoying, but you just have to deal with it because it's how the AI works. Unfortunately, it's not smart enough to not shoot with Testudo, so a very kind of a bit tedious battle at times, because you've got to do it this way. Try and run off the cav. If it's not going to look like you're going to catch them, don't waste the time. Wait till they are exhausted though, that's the good thing. And making them fight uphill while you get downhill charges works well as well, because if you can do that, they will definitely, you definitely have a higher chance of catching them, because they've got to come uphill and they're already exhausted while you're not quite as exhausted, and you can charge downhill, giving you more momentum. So coming up onto this hill is really useful in that regard as well. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the only way to do it. To try and catch them, you'll still have a bit of trouble catching them, but once you can catch them, it can be quite helpful when you get that downhill charge, because you should be able to catch them. That unit just routed there because morale was that low. Don't chase them away from the hill, make them come back to the hill, because you want them to get tired, basically. That's what I recommend. You want them to get as tired as possible while your guys stay as fresh as possible, so you have a higher chance of catching them. Eventually you will catch them if they're absolutely exhausted, and most of these guys are exhausted at this point. Keeping them exhausted for longer just makes it even easier, because your guy, as you can see, our cav is fresh, and when your cav is fresh like this, it will enable you to catch them that much easier. So I'm trying to wait it out, let it get up the hill a bit, but it constantly kind of keeps running off on me. It's a bit annoying, as I said, but because the AI can't register the fact that it's lost, it will keep trying. But no ammunition now, so there's no need to worry about getting shot up. So I'm just going to kind of be patient here, and just wait for them to get into a position where I can catch them. That other horse archer actually regrouped, annoyingly enough. And at this stage I actually caught it because it turned around and fought me for some reason. And over here it's definitely close enough for me to catch it now because of its exhaustion, so I'm able to rout it immediately. And you should run off the routers as long as you can, because that way it won't likelihood it will not regroup. At this stage it's very exhausted, and there you go, it's actually over. So it's a clear victory, but you probably will take quite a lot of losses, because you lose quite a lot of memory of running up to the hill by the horse archers. But if you just follow the steps, and you have to go to the hill, guys, because honestly I have never been able to do this battle if I stay down there. It's just an absolute impossible, because the cataphracts just totally ruin you, and with the course archers working with them. So you're not going to get a glorious scorecard, but you will win, and your cavalry is probably going to do most of the work, and then your peeler, because usually the cataphracts take a lot of damage from the peeler, and that's about it. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon next time.